Hey guys, welcome back to JQ's World. Today I'm going to be doing another movie review, and I'm going to be reviewing Mortal Kombat 2021. Well, I don't really know how to start off with this movie, so eh, uh, this is basically going to be a spoil review. So if you don't want the movie to be spoiled, please go watch another of my videos and just skip this one. But I have to talk about this movie, and I have to warn people what they're going to get themselves into and what to really expect. The first thing first, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna talk about good things about the movie, and then the rest is basically gonna be terrible news. Right now, how I'm gonna rate this movie, I'm gonna rate this a 5 out of 10. And I'll tell you why. First thing first, I love Mortal Kombat. I love the games. I love even the little animation movies as well. The action figures, merchandise, whatever they have, I love it. I grew up with Mortal Kombat when it first came out back then in the arcade, and I love the stories of each of the characters. I love how you call it, the interactions of each of the characters. I love the story mode of the world that they live in, and it's great and fantastic, and you can follow it. But the thing is, again, let me go with the good news because I really want to talk the bad news about this movie, but I have to give credit where credit is due of the movie. Number one, the choreography and the fight of the movie is fantastic. It's really good. I'm happy that they have made it rated R because Mortal Kombat is gory, and and bloody and whatnot. So that's a thumbs up to them. The actors that they hired, I'm not gonna say all of them are perfect. I'm definitely not gonna say all of them are perfect, but some of them are good actors that they deserve to be there, and I will give you the few that they chose perfectly for the movie. Number one, Kun Lao. Kun Lao is one of my I'm not gonna say he's one of my favorite characters because my favorite character is Johnny Cage. I love Johnny Cage more than anything, but in this movie, Kun Lao actually was really good and really portrayed Kun Lao who he is, what he does, even with the hats, the moves, and everything, his personality, everything was there for Kun Lao. I just wish they would have done better with him in the story mode, but I'll get to that in a few minutes. Another good character, Kano. Believe it or not, I like his how he looks. I don't really like too much how he speaks. I kind of miss the old Kano from the first original Mortal Kombat or the video game. The accent there was actually really good, but this one was it was okay. It wasn't bad. But he was very, funny. He was very, sneaky and whatnot. But again, he felt like the comic relief character, which he really isn't. He's basically much of a douche. And he's like an unredeemable character where I call it right here, they made him seem funny and they made him seem like he could be a good guy. But thank God they didn't went with that route because that route would have been stupid. Okay, that's two characters who are like Sonya Blade, not so much. Jax, oh dear God, no. Who's another one? So yeah, another good casting. Sub Zero and Scorpion. They call them Bihan and Hazu Hasashi. Both of those characters that they cast them very well. I like the dialogue that they have between them. I like the fighting that they had, with both of the characters. But I just wish we would have seen them a little bit more, or how you call it, at least made the fight last a little bit longer, or have a little bit more backstory with each of these characters because it just didn't seem like there was. It felt rushed. That's one of the reasons why I didn't like this movie because it was super super rushed and I didn't enjoy it. Okay, another thing. Can I say anything good about it? Just some of those actors, the fighting, and I guess that's about it. There's really not that much. Okay, well the fatalities too. The fatalities are good. That I could say they kept their word with that as a rated R movie. There are some fatalities, but there are some of them that are not too fatality wise. They made it, some of the moves that did there are kind of a little bit PG 13. I'm like, okay, that's boring and whack. Why would you do that? How you call it? But I guess that's about it now. I'm gonna fucking tear up this movie like really fucking badly. Okay, first of all, some of the actors that they got there, like what the fuck? Like seriously. I played the majority of Mortal Kombat games and maybe watched a TV show and again this one that actually, to be honest, this is a better adaptation of movie than the one we finished seeing. How you call it? Let's start off with who's a good one? Cole. Who the fuck is Cole? I never seen him in the games. I never heard of him. I never knew he had powers. I never knew any of that. Like this character was so boring. Like he was so freaking annoying and boring. And he's supposed to be how you call it, Hazo Hasashi grandson or whatever, great great grandson. I don't freaking know, but he just sucks. Like he's terrible. Raiden is terrible in this fucking movie. God, for God's sake, what the hell did they do to Raiden? In the video games, he was much better. He was a better mentor. He was a better leader to lead the defenders or to motivate them to do better. He had a lot of good wisdom. And you cannot deny that Raiden wasn't... He was always like that. He was. He helped out even his worst enemies. Example, like Scorpion. That he wanted to redeem him by giving them words of wisdom of saying to not, kill Sub-Zero or to do anything like that. Like, he helped out even his worst enemies. But at the same time, it's just like... Here, he's just a dick. He's a useless excuse for a god. He's Raiden, Lord of Thunder. And yet, he doesn't do anything. He doesn't fight back. He doesn't do anything. And yet their enemy could cheat and do all this, but he can't do anything? Come on, man. If your enemy is being an ass and breaking the rules and every aspect, and the Elder God, forget it. The Elder Gods in the game, the Elder Gods in the freaking comics or everything, they suck at their job. Let's just be honest, they suck. Because they make certain rules, but yet they break it in front of them and they just don't give a shit at this point. And if they don't care... Why doesn't Raiden just break the rules too? It's like, okay, I'm gonna fucking lightning your ass and that's it. Or at least make him fight Shang Tsung since no one fought Shang Tsung in the goddamn movie at all. What else? What else I could say? The story, again, it felt rushed. It seemed like they just wanted to hammer it. There is no tournament in this movie at all. There's none of that. And then they have to find their inner power for they can unleash it and everything. It just seems stupid. I'm sorry. Just like an example, Sonya Blade, Jax. They're human. At the end of the day, they're human. They have ability for military. They have their little gadgets, which makes sense because they're human. And they can do these certain things. Jax, with his robotic arms, they're robotic for a reason. It's not something that these monks came out of nowhere and started making them. And then out of nowhere, oh, I have my power to make my armor strong. What the fuck is that all about? That wasn't part of the games or the movies or anything like that. So for them to do that is just fucking stupid. To make Kano have his laser eyes pop out of nowhere like if he's Superman or anything was plain stupid. He had the metal plate that makes him do the laser eyes. And now all of a sudden he could do it without that. It doesn't make any sense. And if he was chosen to do that, he was supposed to be chosen, what, as a good guy or a bad guy? And it's like I said, it doesn't make sense. What would have been better if they would have just held the tournament, and if they was going to cheat, as the bad guys do, they could have been killing the character on screen. Not give them like any story, but because the majority of these characters die without us seeing it. They're just like, oh, they got killed, they got killed, they got killed. And we have to find more of the Earth Realmers that are still alive and whatever. Then why kill some of them so early or not even mention them or whatever? It's like they put Easter eggs in, they think, okay, that's the movie, the Easter eggs are the movies. No. It's better to explain it. It's better to show it. And, dear God, another character. Oh, this one's the worst out of all of them. Melina, what the fuck happened? What were you thinking with this character? This character had maybe 2 dialogues in the entire movie. 2 fucking dialogues. They did nothing with this character. And I'm mad because it's just like, I know I'm gonna get a lot of heat from this, and I'm gonna just be honest. That's not Melina. Whatever was that they put, that's not Melina. If you see Kitana and Melina, they're different in every aspect. I'm not saying diversity is not good. I'm good that they have diversity. But if there's one thing I learned from Deadpool 2, if you're gonna make diversity, make it good. The same thing with Domino. I don't know crap about Domino, but ever since Deadpool made Domino, I like the personality of Domino. I love what they did with Domino. But here, Melina sucks, and they can't defend that. I'm sorry. Whether they're gonna say, "Oh yeah, they could defend Melina's justification." No, they can't. They killed off a lot of good characters very quickly in this movie. Mostly the bad guys. Only one good guy died here, and that's one thing I was pissed off about it. They got rid of Kun Lao. Really? Kun Lao? Again? They killed him off. Why didn't you kill Cole? He's not interesting. He's boring. He's generic. He's freaking the most annoying character you can think of. For God's sake, what the hell were they thinking? Putting this goddamn character. Now, the way that each character dress up and everything, it does not look like the, former counterpart. It doesn't look like them. Sub-Zero doesn't look like Sub-Zero. Okay? They had the suit. All they had to do was just match the color of each of the suit. Perfect. That's it. That's Bihan. That's Sub-Zero. That's what he looks like. Right there in the movie, he looks like Noob. That's what he looks like in the movie. That's not Sub-Zero. They wasted an opportunity. Even Hanzo Hasashi had it bad. I like the human form of Hanzo Hasashi, but I don't like the suit that they picked for Scorpion. I know they're trying to represent the Japanese, way of how they dress and whatnot. But wouldn't it be cool if they would have made like another, like to say the way they made Sub-Zero's clothing, done the same thing for Scorpion, but yellow, just to piss off Sub-Zero, like, hey, I'm you, but I'm yellow. And I'm going to use the same suit to beat the crap out of you and mock you while I do it. It would have been better. We don't know. They didn't show us the process of how Hanzo Hasashi became Scorpion. Right? They told us, but they don't show it. And this goddamn movie right here, this movie shows the process what Hanzo Hasashi went through to become Scorpion, why he became Scorpion, why is he serving for Quan Chi or anything. But in the movie they don't show nothing, and he only appears at the end of the movie. The beginning of the movie to the end of the movie, he pops up. It was dumb. It was really, 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 really stupid. Again, Raiden makes unquestionable choices. And what I find funny, a person who is a thunder god and yet has a force field, and yet out of nowhere Kano could destroy the force field of a god, it doesn't make any fucking sense. It would have been better if it was like, okay, Raiden needs to be concentrated to remain that force field right there, and Kano is distracting him that he can't budge the thing until maybe what's his name, Shang Tsung comes in and breaks the staff because he is strong to do that. Would have made a little bit more sense than what Kano uses as that's it, I broke it. I beat an Elder God's freaking staff. Doesn't make any sense at all. And then to top it off, if Raiden had the power to go somewhere where they can't be followed, why the fuck didn't he do that to begin with? If he had the ability to take him somewhere else. Again, Raiden's not a good mentor, not a good teacher, not a good motivator, and he's a dick to his own Earthrealmers. That's not Raiden. The words of wisdom of Raiden and everything that made Raiden a perfect Thunder God is completely destroyed. I'm sick and tired of people saying, "Oh no, this is a good movie. This is a masterpiece movie." No, it's not, man. They just got you. And like I said, I'm a fan of the movie. I mean, I'm a fan of the, Mortal Kombat. But just because I'm a fan doesn't mean I'm gonna be stupid and not see the errors that they make, or call them out, or call out their errors what they made as well. Again, they rushed it. The graphic looks terrible. Other graphic movies that came out like The Avenger, Batman, or even The Dark Knight or whatever, the graphics there, they made it, seem believable or good. But these graphics, dear God, they look like straight to DVD or Blu-ray graphics. That's how bad it looks. Like, come on, man. Like, they could have done better with the graphics. They really could have done better. And they wasted the majority of their budget on Goro that only lasted, what? 4 minutes, 5 minutes in the film? There was no backstory for him. There was no backstory for Reiko. There was no backstory for any of them. I'm still confused how the video game can make a better story with less budget, but they can make a better story in a video game than a movie. Like, what's wrong? You had the support, you had everything to make a good movie. But it just seemed like you wanted to just go fast and just get the cash grab, basically, what you wanted to do. You're like, oh no, the fans will like it, they'll put it together. That's not how you do a movie. If you care about the movie, you care about the lore of the movie, you would do your research. You would be like, okay, let me try to adapt. You know what's a good video game adaptation? I'm not going to say the original Mortal Kombat because no, it was a PG-13 movie, but it was still enjoyable to watch. And it made more sense than this one, for sure. I'm not going to say this Mortal Kombat was terrible than Annihilation. No, sorry, Annihilation is still crap regardless. That movie is still garbage. But it seems like they could have done way better with the budget they got, with the actors they got. They could have done a good movie, but they haven't. At all. Now, where was I getting at? Because I was getting a little bit freaking angry with this goddamn film. Shit. I was just talking about it and I completely forgot. Okay, if I can remember clearly. Which Mortal Kombat am I talking about? No, not the original one. Like I said, the video games does a better justification than this one. And I don't know what went wrong, what direction were they planning to go in. It's just they could have just done it better. That's one thing I can say. They could have done better, but I wasn't entertained. I wasn't blown away or anything. Be like, oh my god, this thing is awesome. I'm not saying it's terrible than Annihilation, but it was close to it in certain forms because it just seems like they was rushing it. And I really don't like when you rush a movie. Take your time. Oh, now I remember what I was talking. The best video game adaptation that was made, I know they don't talk about it much, but for me it's a better adaptation, Silent Hill. The first Silent Hill. They took elements from the video games, they made it their own version, but they followed the lore of the video game. They made a separate story of what was in Silent Hill, and they made it work. They made it scary. They made it disturbing. The sound effects was great. The soundtrack was even better because they grabbed the soundtrack from the original game, and it fits perfectly with the movie. So for me, that was the best adaptation, video game adaptation they have done. And they dropped the ball on this one completely. I just hope if there's gonna be a trilogy, they fix their mistakes, they fix their errors. But as me, I recommend people do not watch this or wait for a price to drop or something like that. Don't waste your money on this. There's better things out there to watch than this thing. For me, I'm trying to save your guys your money because if they don't treat the fans with respect, if they don't care about what you have to say why bother supporting a company that doesn't care about you? Let's just be honest. I know more people in the comments are going to be writing, oh, but you haven't seen Street Fighter, you haven't seen, yeah, I've seen them, they're crap, they're terrible. But that was back then. When what, in the 90s, the 2000s, the 2010. But we're already in 2021 where we should have at least, at least grown up about it. Or learned from their previous mistakes, but it just seems like they haven't learned or they just don't want to learn from it. I just hope they fix the errors of this one. At least, if you're gonna make Mortal Kombat 2, make the character look like the character. And number one, if you're gonna do a number 2 Mortal Kombat game, fix Raiden. Get rid of Cole. He is an unlikable character. No one gives two shit about him. Kill him in the next movie, please. Just make him get killed by, I don't freaking know, by Motaro, by getting stabbed with some shit. Just get rid of him. He's useless. Completely useless in the goddamn films. I can't stand that character. I'm sorry. But that's about it. I already gave my reviews. I gave this movie a 5 out of 10. It is not good at all. There's some parts that are good, the fighting scenes and the fatalities, and some characters you get a chuckle here and there. But that's basically about. Oh fuck yeah. Oh yeah, I just remember about one thing. Reptile. What the fuck was that? They literally put a fucking giant lizard in the goddamn movie. Are you serious? You could have made him like maybe Sub-Zero, and maybe when he takes off the mask there's a lizard down there. Or something like that. Like, you couldn't do that. You could have made him like maybe a little bit of human version with green skin like they did in Mortal Kombat 9. You couldn't at least do that. Would have been better. Because he even has a tail in the movie and he barely fucking uses the tail. And he gets killed by Kano? Johnny Cage didn't even kill Reptile. And you're saying Kano could do that? No. I'm sorry. I don't believe that shit at all. I really don't. And the chemistry of each of these characters doesn't make any sense. Liu Kang is dumbass rocks. What's his name? Sonya and Jax, I don't believe their chemistry at all. I really don't. And like I said, this Cole character really gotta go. I just hope he gets murdered in part 2 and they fix all the mistakes that they're doing. I really hope they do that. And I hope that they learn from their mistake from this movie and they'll do better. That's all I'm hoping right now. But again, I recommend you don't watch this movie. Save your money for something else. Go watch something else as they put their hard working time and effort to make a better movie than this thing, because it's not good. From my point of view, it's not good. If you like the movie, okay, go ahead and like it. But like it because it's actually good. Don't like it because you're just a fan of it. You have to also call out the mistake and see the errors that they made. I know it's another adaptation movie, but again, there's no excuse that they could have not done it great. That's all I'm going to say. Thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to comment and subscribe to JQ's World, and I'll see you on the next movie review. Take care and have a good night.